This conference will now be recorded.
So very warm welcome to all guys. This is once again Ishan on behalf of Auribises. So today we will be continuing the Flask. Let's very quickly review what we did yesterday. So we understood what Flask is. Basically, it's a framework to create lightweight web apps, right? So why do you need to learn this library or the framework? So that if you are doing project work, so if you want some UI, you should be able to create it on the web structure, right? So the major thing in the Flask is app routing. So we have a decorator with the help of which you decide the routing, which is basically the URL pattern. Now, for an instance, for your app, when I say slash, slash means the home page. So welcome function will be automatically executed by the Flask framework for the home page, and what welcome function will return is an HTML message, right? And same way, if you say slash home, so we'll be able to return you a text. Same way if you say slash code, and if you write some name along with it, so we would be able to send across some input name in your textual data, right? So other than this, we sort of understood that if you're writing a web application, for example like a learning management system, and there are various web pages, various rules, so how are you going to handle them? So you got this student, you got teacher, then the parent, admin, and a home page which says welcome to the LMS, right? So for any different type of request which you are going to make, so what we'll be doing is we'll be redirecting you to the corresponding URL, right? So this is what we did, and in case of any mismatch, we'll just say that it's an invalid request. We even did learn one more thing, that you can render a template. So you can write an HTML page and then you can render it. So the only thing is this, that you need to have a templates a folder directory in your project structure where you need to create these HTML pages. So today we'll see and explore more of Flask, right? We'll see some more of the part in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write first of all one new file. This is going to be an index.html. Now when I say index.html, so typically this is the kind of a file which is the home page of your project, okay? Index.html. So welcome to LMS, right? So I'm gonna say please log in with details below. So I'm going to ask user what is your email, what is your password, and then I would like to do a submission. Now there may be a case that the user is not exactly registered, right? So I'm gonna write an href tag. So a href, and here I'll say new user. So register here. So this is one anchor tag, a hyperlink, right? So which I have created, where with the help of which we will be able to navigate to a newer page. So I'll just do a copy paste here and write one more new file. This goes like register.html. So in the register.html, right? Okay, so my bad, just give me a moment. So welcome to LMS, right? So please register with the details below. Now we can take one extra input here. So for an example, we'll be taking a name as an input. So enter your name, right? And thereafter, I'll just have a small break. Now, these forms and all can be styled, right? So if you want to learn HTML in a perfect way, I would always recommend to go through your W3 schools. So here you can learn all the HTML. In case you still feel like that, okay, I have not a good command over the HTML part, even though it's a very easy or the most easiest thing to learn in computer science, right? So I'm gonna put this in this session 64 for HTML. Follow this link, okay? So this is your register.html. So I just create two of the web pages, and the next thing is we need to somehow link this new user register here. So something we have to link, right? So how the linking has to happen, that I'm gonna just kind of put up across you as a quiz. So coming here, let us very quickly create the Flask app. So I'll use the code in our yesterday's session itself. So we got this route with the slash here. So I'm just going to say from Flask import all. So we are not going to return this message. We are going to return render the template, which is your index.html. So my index.html, right, is going to be shown to the user the moment your app runs. Okay, so whenever your application will run, so index page will be rendered automatically. Now next is where I'm going to say slash register. Now this is another web page for me where the user can register, and here I would like to render the template. That's like your register.html. All right, so for the time being we are just removing this part here. So let's run this program. So I'm just going to run the program here and see what's going to happen. So this is how you understood that the moment we opened our web page, right? So we can very well see that, okay, this is the email password, login, and new user registered. So I want this anchor tag to work, right? This hyperlink to work. So when I click on this hyperlink, I want that I should be navigated to the register.html. So I would like to know how it can be done, guys. How can we do that? So acknowledgements awaited from all of you. So what should I write? I'll just quickly. Okay. So what should I be writing over here? What do you think? What link should I be providing here? So register link, right? So guys, your web application runs on this server, right? So this is the link, and in the end, you just need to mention slash register. So if you see here, so you got this register as the app routing. So in the URL, you are going to click on new user register here, and you say just slash register, and you will be able to navigate. Can I get a smiley here as an acknowledgement from all of you? So let's try to run the program once again and see what happens. So how you navigate from one page to the other page. So new user register here, when you click on this, you land it to the register. Please register with the details below if you can see now. So these web pages, they are not styled, okay? So they are very basic for us as of now. So coming here, what in case I directly write only register? What do you think? Will it work? Should this work for us? So let us see in case this works for us or not. So I'll say register, and what you see is this is going to work for us. So since you are already on the same URL, right? So if you are requesting for the register part here, so you will be navigated to your register.html. So your app routing works perfectly fine. So even if you write only the register, since you are on the same web server app. So I think this is clear how you can navigate from one page to the other page. Now, since we know this, the next thing in front of us is that there are some details which the user can punch in. So over the web page here, I can enter the name, then the email, and then some password. And then I can click on this button register, right? So what happens when someone clicks on the button register? Now guys, this is known as an HTTP request. Whenever you create a form, so whenever you create a form here, so if you see this form, right? So every form is going to have some action. This guy will have an action here, and there will be a method. Okay, so we have an action and we have a method corresponding to it. So forms will have action and the method. Now methods are either get or post. Even we do have more HTTP methods, but these are the two methods. If you choose the method get, if you choose this method called get, what happens? The data in your form will become visible in the URL. Okay, so action is to which you would like to send request, to whom you are going to send this request, right? So I'll just put up some comments here. So get data becomes the part of URL, whereas post data is hidden in HTTP body and hence more secure. So let me show you what is this get now. Okay, so we'll try to run the program and see what get will do for us, or let me just see if this thing is going to work for us or not. I'll just refresh this. So I'll say register. No, I don't think so it's working. I need to just rerun the program once. Okay, so we did this in index.html. So here we are, right? I'll just put some details, John at some example.com and pass 123. So when I'll say login, yeah, so I think this security is already being maintained by the Flask, right? But typically, guys, this is the difference, right? So data in the get becomes visible over the URL, but over here, as of now, we cannot see. Let me define an action. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna define an action with the help of which it can work for us. Okay, so just let me finish this part here. So I'll say define. This guy goes like login function, maybe validate login. This is the function, right, which I wrote, and I said at the rate app dot route. Now this time the URL pattern is going to be, let's say, /login. I'm just gonna say the URL pattern, or this routing is login, and there is this list of methods which can either be get or post. So what I'm trying to put here is, there will be a request which will be coming. This may be get, this may be post. Okay, so it totally depends at your form, right? There may be this method as get or post. So if you want to strictly cut it down, right, to the post only, what you can do is, you can not choose get or post. You can strictly say only post. It means that this method validate login will be executed on the URL pattern login, but only if the method in your form is post. So whenever the user will submit on the login, the action goes like login. Now this action login here is going to execute the function validate login with the method as post. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna extract the email. So the user is gonna have an email. So email will be request dot form, and in the form you just pass the name of this guy called okay, so name goes like txt email, and here also I'll say name goes like txt password. So this is the variable name which I created, right? So for this input field, the variable name is txt email, and for this input field, the variable name is txt password. So we'll extract the data from the form with the input field as txt email and then the txt password. So guys, now the ball is in your court. So here what you can do is, you can anytime cross check from your database. So you can connect MySQL or Firebase Firestore, as we did in our previous discussions. So this is you can connect MySQL or Firebase Firestore to validate the user from database. All right, so you can code ahead over here in Python. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to check us in a very basic way, in case the email is equal to, let's say, john at example.com, and your password is equal to, let's say, some pass 123. If this is the case, I'll just say return, or I'll just come here and say welcome John. In the else case, I'm going to say return invalid credentials. So guys, let's see what we did, right? The moment your app will run, it's gonna execute this index.html page. It's your home page. The welcome function will be executed. Now the function name can be any name, right? Majorly your URL patterns, they are going to be important for us. Now if the user will get this index.html, from index.html there may be a form. We have kept an action as login and the method as post. This method may be even get. Typically the data becomes the part of URL when you are making a get request, and in the post request data is hidden. But maybe due to Flask, right? So I just need to cross check it once, right? Once we execute this program, and we'll change the method to get and see how the things happen. So in the form, you need a action and a method. Thereafter, you have these input fields. You keep the name for your input fields, and we got a button, right? The value is login and the input type is submit. So whenever you hit this button login, the request will go to this login, which is this function validate login. Okay. So validate login function is going to extract the email and the password from the form. Request is going to be a part of your Flask library here. Okay, implicit object basically. So we compare the email. So as of now, I'm not validating from the database, but yes, you can do that. Okay, so let's run the program, session number 64, and see how the login sequence works for us. So let us say john@example.com and pass 123. You say login. So it says welcome John. Now when I go back, you don't enter the password, right? Or let's say we entered this john1@example.com and password is some abc123. You say login. It says invalid credentials. Guys, can I get a smiley from all of you? Is this part clear to everyone? Anyone facing any challenge here? So I think how to create a form is very much clear to all of us, and how to read the data in the form is also clear, right? So let me change this to get, and coming here, I'll just say this as get. So john@example.com and pass 123. You say login. Yes, exactly, guys. What you see is I don't know what exactly happened here, but if you see here, right? So this txt email and the txt password is visible in the URL. So even if you put some wrong data, let's say John and Jenny, you say login, right? If you see here, right? So it's available in the URL. So it is saying that the txt email is an error. I don't know what exactly why it is giving us, but anyways, right? So what I wanted to show you is that if you use this get request, so data becomes visible in the part of URL, right? So you should not be doing that, especially when the data is secure with you, right? So we use post instead of get for the secure data transmission. Okay, so now from the form, you can get the data into your app, right? And you can process it. So is your register now. So in the register, you got this form. You can have this action defined and the method defined. So we can have these name as a txt name. Let's say txt email, and the third one is going to be as txt password. So if you are going to come up with the register, right? So the way you got this validate login, so I can just try to create another function which says register user. All right, so this goes like register user. So you have just one more thing here. So that's like name, txt name. So I'm just gonna have one return statement. So I'm not gonna. So what? Once again, right? You can save these details. You can connect MySQL and save the details in the database. So invalid credentials, right? And I'm just gonna return here. So dash thank you for registering with us. Dot format the name. So let's execute this function now and see your registration. But in the register.html, the action should go like your register user. So it's a very easiest, it's the most easiest approach to create a web application, right? If you are learning this Flask, it makes your web application quite easier and rapid. So you can create even any software, right? You can create your a doctor's portal where doctor is punching in the patient's details every day, right? And thereafter you can do a regression analysis or you can do some classification. Okay, so I'll say new user register here. So enter some details, John, or let's say Fiona at the example.com, and Fiona123, you say register. So Fiona, thank you for registering with us, right? So you got the data from the form into your Python function. So from the HTML, we got the data into your functions, and then you can process it. I think this is something which can be very easily managed by you guys now. Secondly, you understood that how you can navigate from one web page to the other web page. Guys, once again, a smiley awaited from all of you in case we are good to go till here. All right. So what I will do next is we'll write a program to upload the file, right? Here in my either index or register, right? So either the index or the register. If the user is going to register successfully, I'm going to make him land in a home page. Okay. So let me come here and write a new file. So this is my home.html. So in my home.html, so this is again welcome to LMS home. Now for every web page, guys, you can make sure that you have a title. Okay, so you can create a title over here. So this is like home. So for every page, you can just have a title. So this is like your LMS. This is your register, right? So this is how you can just create the titles for your pages. So a lot of you know already the HTML, right? And I think this will not be a challenge. So in the home page here, so what I will do is I have this form. Let's have this form, right? And this form is going to be something where, so please fill the details below. Let's have it in this manner. Okay, so we are going to get some details to be filled by the user. Okay, so this may be now your input parameters for your artificial neural network, right? So for example, this may be feature 1, feature 2. All right, so this is your feature 1, this is your feature 2, and then we can have this button like predict, right? So this may be a regression, this may be a classification problem, but what you got is you got a form with the help of which you can simply get the data, right, into some action. So we can click on the button predict, and thereafter with this feature 1 and feature 2, for example, enter petal length. This is like enter petal width. Okay, so something like this. So you can have the feature one, you can have the feature two, and then you can predict, and then you can give the class, right? So this is something which you can do, right? So just wanted to come up and share this across all of you. And I can even have another part called uploading the data sets, right, to your application. So if you want, you can tell the user to select the data sets for your application. So how it can work for us, right? So I'll just create this tag, let's say nh3 tag. Please select file or data set CSV to upload. There may be a case that your program may need some image, right? Please select image to upload, right? So this we'll see in our upcoming discussions, right? How you can process images with the convolution neural network. So guys, we are trying to create something where we want some data to be filled in, or we want to select some image to be uploaded, or we want some CSV file to be uploaded, right? So how it's going to work for us. So I'm going to create this form once again. Every form is going to have an action and a method. So typically for uploading the files, right? So there has to be this encryption type which needs to be implemented, and this is going to be a multi-part form data. Okay, so this is the one thing which you need to take care when you are going to use your upload feature. So this is what we need to do. So here also for image also I'm just going to have this form. So we got three forms in the same web page, right? In the home page. So selection of the data set, then selection of some image in case, right? And then filling in the details below, right? Where you have your feature one, feature two, and you want to predict something, right? I'm not taking in three different web pages. I'm doing in the same web page. So you're creating some different forms here. But remember, if you have these forms, right? So you're going to submit the data. I'm just presenting it. So you have to align these modules the way you want. Okay. Now, for example, here the action goes like slash, let's say, upload. This action may be data set. This action may be, so we can even write like this, upload hyphen data set. Okay. So this action goes like upload hyphen image. And at the same time, here it's gonna be predict hyphen label, right? So you can have three different web pages who can do these three different jobs, and you can have a home page where you can give an option to upload the data sets, upload the images, and then do the predictions, right? So it's up to you. The UI is up to you how you want to define it. It will be totally your flow. So here what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll create an input type, but this input type is going to be a file. Okay, so you say input type is file, and the name is going to be here for me as let's say data set. Same way we got an input type here which is a file, and I'm going to say name is image for me. So lastly we got this input type submit in both of these, right? So we'll just come here and say upload data set, and here I'm gonna say upload an image. Guys, can I get a smiley from all of you? Are we good to go here? So I did basically kind of three forms in the same web page. I hope this will be okay for everyone to understand what we did. An acknowledgement waited from all of you in case we are good to go till here, guys. Is this web page clear to everyone? Now this is a kind of a home page, okay? So if you can recall our yesterday's discussion, right? So what we did, if there is one function which is executed, so you were saying return redirect URL for, right? Same way in my session 64. After the validate login, welcome John, right? So instead of saying welcome John here, I'm just going to say return redirect the URL to something. Same way here, instead of saying returning, I'm saying return redirect the URL to something. So either the user is going to be validated from login, or user is going to be registered successfully. I want the user to navigate to the home page, right? So we'll just define this function called home, and here I'm going to say return the render template. So this template is going to be your home.html, and at the rate your app.route, let's say this guy is home. Okay, so you would like to return to the home URL in these both cases. So home.html should be opened if I either log in successfully, or let's say if I register successfully, correct? So for this, when I am going to come here in my validate login function, I'll do some processing, then I'll redirect to home. Again, I'll do some processing in the register and I will redirect to home, wherever I want, right? So let's now try to run this application and see if we are able to go through, if we do this login and the registration flow. So this is a login flow. So login was john at example.com and pass 123. You say login here. So what you see is you have entered the home page successfully. So welcome to LMS home. So the title of this page is now a home page, if you can see here. So dataset CSV to upload, choose file, upload the dataset button. Please select image to upload, choose file, and upload image button, and please fill in the details below: petal length, petal width, and predict. Right. So I think we need to remove this new user register here somehow. So this works for us, right? But here I'll just remove this, is not required by us. Okay. Now let me come here and validate the other flow. Oh, so just give me a moment. Okay, so new user register here. So what happens if you register successfully, right? So let's say Fiona with email, Fiona123, you say register. So you once again land to the home page, guys. Makes a perfect sense to everyone. Guys, I think this is clear, right? We are good to go with the UI part, that how the things are going to work for us. Wonderful. So let's upload the file, right? So these details I have already shown, right? So how you can capture the data and do the prediction. For that, what you can do is you can so I'll define the functions in a sequence. Okay, so define the function upload data set. Then I'll define another function and another function. So this upload data set, and here we'll say upload an image, and here I'm going to come up and say predict label, right? So you want to predict the label, so everyone is going to have an app route. So let us see what app routes we chose. We got this upload image, so you need not do a slash here, so you can directly like that. So this is your app route for upload image. Then we got upload data set. So you need to be quite specific with all these, you know, names, because if you misspell them or there is some any discrepancy here and there, it's not gonna work. So these are URL patterns. They must be same here and there. Okay. So predict label is going to work in the same way, right? So what I'm going to say is that there is this field called, just take it from here. The methods is post, right? If you want, you can have a get as well as post. It's up to you. So if you want to use both, okay, so you need to mention them. So how you gonna work here? So feature one is request.form, and you extract the value feature one and then the feature two. So you write your ML/AI algo goes here and do some predictions for the labels accordingly. I hope this I have given you a very quick hint what we have to do, right? So return. So I'll just say this is Sitosa. I'm just going to come up and do something like this, okay? So you can write your all ML algo and you can just process it and see to it what is gonna work for us. You can even write the program in another Python file and you can do an import and execute the functions here. So now what I have to present you is how you can upload the data sets or upload the images into your project, right? So in order to do that, uh, we have already taken this to a function. So let's come to this function here. So both the methods are post once again. So in the function, I'm going to specify the methods to be post, both the function, because it's a request again. So for both methods is post, and the way it's gonna be same, guys, right? So coming here, if you wanna keep a tight check, if you wanna put a tight check that okay, this request has to be a post request only, I will not handle the get request. Okay, so you can anytime say in case request dot method is equal to the post. So this is how we can put up a tight check. Okay, so whatever the file you have uploaded, so you say your request dot files, and what is the name here? So the name is data set, right? So you get this data set here. So your file is from the request. There are files, right? And the file named data set you need to get. And what I will simply do is I will simply say file dot save and save it with this file dot file name. It's very simple for me, guys, right? So this is just to validate if user is sending or user is uploading the file in post request. We're validating right here. So the same thing goes in your upload image. So here what I'll do is I'll do the same job, but of course in my upload image part here, so I got this as image. The name is image. That's the only change. But this file name is the name of the file which you will select from your computer, right, from your system. So once we are good to go here, guys, right? So next thing is what? I'll return a success page to the user. Let's see one more concept here. So I'll just write a new Python, a new HTML file. This is your success.html. let me get this code here. File upload success. File successfully uploaded. Right. So what I did, I created this small web page where I'm telling the user that okay, the file is successfully uploaded. But this success.html is going to be executed over here by saying return render the template. Which template? Success.html. I hope this is clear, guys. Once the file is saved, I will say return the render template, and the name of the HTML web page is success.html. So the way we have been doing it, right? So once this function executes, we upload the file. So uploading the file means that you will get the file coming here. Okay, your file will come here. So moving ahead with this approach, success.html, in the render template function, I'm going to pass a key value pair. So the key is name, and the name is going to be your file name. What is the name of that file? So this is a difference what we have been doing earlier and now what we are doing. Okay, so I am passing a name of the file which you selected and which you have uploaded to this success.html. I'm passing this name to this HTML file here. So in your HTML file, you're getting an input now. So when you render this HTML, when you render this HTML to success.html, so you in this HTML file are putting some input, right? And that input is what? That input is your file name. So I'm just going to come here and say nh4 tag file details. So guys, we call it dependency injection. So what you need to do is you just need to show your input here. So the name, this guy key name which has the value file name, I'm going to now inject it here. Can I get a smiley? So this is the syntax how you can process the input from your render template into your HTML file. We got a lot of activities done. Let's quickly try to review. In the home page, there is an action: upload the dataset, upload the image, and predict the label. So you got the handlers created for these three. So predict label, then upload image and upload the dataset. In case it is predict label, you get the form details and you process it the way you were doing it in your ML algos. If you want to upload the image or upload the data set, right, so you get the file and save it in your system, in your project folder here in your PyCharm, right? So you render the template called success.html. It means your web page is going to be now success.html. That's the only difference, right? So you're rendering your HTML as a response. So this is rendering HTML as a response. So when you render the HTML as a response, in the HTML you're passing one input. That's like the name, which is file.file name. So this input can be processed here. So you can process the input like this and you can display it to the user. So guys, shall we run this session 64? Can I get a smiley from all of you in case we are good to go? Anyone facing any query here can please raise the same. Okay, so let's say log in with John at example.com and pass 123. So this will take us to the home page. Let me upload a data set. So let me check if I have data sets available somewhere here and there. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just get a data set here. So just give me a moment. So this advertising.csv file, or shall I'll just create few of these like this only. So just give me a moment. Let me just I have these CSV file. Yes, so I have these items.csv here, and I have this data analysis covid.png as well in my downloads, right? So one is this image, and another one is this items.csv file. Okay, so we'll try to use them and upload them here. So uploading a data set. Okay, so I think we got an error here. So my bad. We need to choose the file first. Sorry. So this is supposed to be the items.csv in the downloads. So here we are with the items.csv. I'll say select this file and say open. So items.csv is the file name which you chose, and now you say upload the data set. It says file successfully uploaded and file details items.csv, right? So you get to see this name coming in here. Let us come here and see for this items.csv, guys. Here you are with this file called item.csv. If you can see now, right? So let us also go back and try to upload an image. So choose a file here. So you can upload any image. So this is data analysis covid19.png. I'm going to open this. So you say upload this image. It says file successfully uploaded, data analysis covid19.png. So when you run this program, so here we are with this image coming into us, right? Data analysis covid19.png. So lastly, if I go back, so for the petal length, let's say 20, and the width, let's say 30, you say predict, it returns you a Setosa. Can I get a smiley as an acknowledgement once again? Lastly, guys, I hope this part of Flask is clear to everyone. So if you want to make the UI screens to look more better, you need to use cascading style sheets. You need to style your HTML web pages, right? So these are very simple, basic web pages. You can go across the web and you can search for so many HTML templates, which you can use as well. So I'll finish my part of Flask here, but I'm going to give you one small part of the thing to explore. So please explore what is meant by session tracking. So you need to explore something known as cookies and some, let's say, the URL rewriting. Please explore these two things. So cookies and URL rewriting are the part of your session tracking only, okay? And the built-in session object in Flask. So this is something which I'm giving you guys to explore. If you feel like you can explore, let's say you want to maintain the data in the session, you want to maintain session, so you need to explore these APIs. So I have done this quite justice. Now you can have the UI for your project. You understand how you can create the flow, and even if you would like to save some data in the database and then you would like to work on your project, you can do so. So this is all. So let me push this code over the GitHub. So Flask part 2, session number 64. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this part of the session. Now I want you guys to be quick on your project work. So what I will do is I'll be giving you one, I'll be sharing a link with all of you. So you need to put in your details on that link. what is your project, what you're going to do, and I am expecting a revert on that link from all of you. Okay, so I'll be sharing the link over the WhatsApp group, guys. So this is all for the day. So tomorrow we're gonna begin with CNN. I don't want any absenteeism from tomorrow, right? So you should not be relying on, okay, I'll be watching the recorded sessions and then doing the thing. So please do update your friends. So CNN is no doubt a very beautiful topic to work on, right? The next level of your artificial neural networks are the convolution neural networks. Okay, so your major projects are going to be using those CNN details. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful time ahead. Bye bye.